Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video we are gonna talk all about Ken and how you can use him in the 5th season of Street Fighter V. So let us get started. So what type of character is Ken? Well, in my opinion, Ken is the typical jack of all trades style character, although in Street Fighter V he is more geared toward offense and rushdown, but he still can do a little bit of everything. You will find that his mobility is actually really good because he does have the fastest forward dash in the game, his back dash and back walks are fine, and his forward walk is actually quite above average in my opinion. Also, Ken in particular is very good at getting his opponents to the corner. You will see that most of his combos, even the simple ones like that, have a ton of corner carry. So this is a particular highlight of the character, and the backwards throw is actually very good because of that as well. And because he have a Shoryuken, can have a fantastic anti-air game. His medium Shoryuken is fully invincible to jumping attacks. You can use it to cross cut even if your opponent does a cross up, and he can V-trigger cancel out of the Shoryuken into big damage, or you can even super cancel and get big damage conversions out of your anti-airs. So that is very good. Can also have some decent fireballs now. In the previous patches they were really weak, but now they are considerably better in my opinion. They are still not like zoner tier quality fireballs, but you will be able to zone many characters with them. So that is very good. One thing that Ken kinda struggle with is actually getting around zoning himself. You will see that he doesn't have the typical Tatsu that can go through fireball, so he can't beat them with that. You can use the heavy kick Tatsu from some ranges, but this is kind of a read. You can use the EX Tatsu, which is fine, but again, this is also a read. And finally, he does have the Shin Ryuken, which is V-Trigger 2. This is quite nice versus fireballs. It is one of its main primary use, but again, it is a V-Trigger, so you don't have that all the time. So sadly, and kinda surprisingly, Ken does struggle against zoning. You will find it very difficult against characters like Guile or Poison, who can keep you at bay. One of the other issues with Ken is that his range is actually kinda short. If you notice, this is his crouching medium kick. It is kinda short. It doesn't hit where you would expect. And even then, his standing heavy kick is also kinda short. So he does have an issue with that. Another thing, and this one is quite annoying, is that he doesn't have a 3 frame normal. His Tatsu is 3 frame and his light punch uppercut, both of them are 3 frame, but he doesn't have a 3 frame normal. So if your opponent is pressuring you, he does have to take big risks to get them off of him. Finally, and this is really big, one of the best things about Ken is that his EX Shoryuken leads to pressure, and this is very uncommon in Street Fighter V. Very few characters have Shoryukens or fully invincible reversals that actually can lead to pressure, and this is one of the highlights of Ken and one of the best things about him. So as we always do, we are gonna start talking about the character normals, and we're gonna start with the light attacks. And in my opinion, Ken actually have some really good light attacks. The first one I'm gonna talk about is his standing light punch, and Ken's standing light punch is actually really good in my opinion. It is 4 frames, so it is not the fastest. It's not the fastest thing ever for a light, but if you notice above, it is +5 on hit, and that is very notable because Ken have a target combo or like a string, right? It is his back medium punch into heavy punch. We're gonna talk about it in depth more later. But for now, know that the light punch actually combos into it, and this is very good because Ken can do light punch into back medium punch, heavy punch, and then into a special move, which will lead to good combos. As you can see, he's doing like 214. That's around 20% on the average character from a light, so that is very good. He can also combo out of his lights into many things. So you can do standing light punch, crouching light punch, standing light kick. As you can see, that was 3 hits. So then you can combo like a Tatsu or like an uppercut. There are many ways that you can go from here. So this is just showing you that Ken actually have a lot of hit confirmable combo routes out of the standing light punch. And it's also really good on block. If you notice on block, this is +2, and this is very good because this, the back medium punch, the normal that it combos into on hit is 5 frames. So this means that jab into standing or back medium punch is actually a frame trap. Even if your opponent try to interrupt, they will get hit, and then you can hit confirm and continue on with your combo. So that is very good. Even more, something that is very good about it is that it doesn't leave you in throw range. You might be surprised, like, why is it good that it doesn't leave me in throw range? That sounds counterproductive. This is actually really good that it doesn't leave you in throw range because it makes it an auto shimmy. Remember, because you're not in throw range, most likely your opponent cannot throw you either, right? So what's gonna end up happening is something like this, right? If I do my standing light punch and then crouch block like that, I'm outside of Guile's throw range, right? He's expecting to break a throw, so he's throwing himself. Then you get to punish him, right? So that is very good. So overall, this is good for pressure, good for combos, good for frame traps. Another thing that is actually really important, and I feel like I have to talk about it here, is this particular sequence. Standing light punch, crouching light punch, standing light kick. This 3-hit sequence is very good because it combos on hit, as you can see, right? And then you can get an uppercut. The reason that this sequence is very important is because it covers both knockdowns after a heavy kick tatsu. So for example, if you do a heavy kick tatsu like that, right? Guile is gonna wake up with a jab. So after a heavy kick tatsu, I'm gonna dash and then do my standing light punch. And this will meet Guile on wake up. It will hit him as he is waking up, right? So that sequence will combo on the scenario. And then you do whatever you want. So that is very nice. However, on back rise, if you do the same sequence, standing light punch, crouching light punch, standing light kick, it will also catch him on back rise. As you can see, my first jab will whiff, the crouching jab will hit him, and then the standing light kick will combo. So, standing light punch, crouching light punch, standing light kick. Get used to doing this sequence. It is actually really important for getting the correct meaty after heavy kick tatsu. So overall, the standing light punch is very good. Now let's move around to the crouching light punch, which is also quite nice. The crouching light punch is also 4 frames, but unlike the other one, this one leaves you in throw range, so you can throw your opponent after it, right? It's very good because it is one of his best shimmy tools. You can use it and then throw your opponent after. As you can see, it's a really good tech throw, even if they try to interrupt. Let's here have Guile try to mash. He's gonna try to mash his jab, but he can't. Your throw will beat it, so that is very good. And if he's trying to actually throw you backwards, you can shimmy him and get a combo. Like do crouching light punch, walk back a little bit, and you will get a shimmy into full combo. So the crouching light punch is really good for pressure, and of course it's also really good for combos. It's only +4 on hit, so you can't combo crouching light punch into the target combo, but you can combo it into standing light kick, right? You can do crouching light punch into itself, into standing light kick, and then end it with the uppercut. So that is really good damage. So again, this one is really good for pressure, also will frame trap into the back medium punch. It's good for tech throws, and it's good for combos. The standing light kick is actually really good as well. This is the most likely combo ender out of lights, so you're gonna likely be using jab, crouching jab into light kick, or crouching light kick, crouching light punch, crouching light punch, standing light kick, even crouching light kick, standing light kick, right? So this is the normal that you will use to special cancel into specials, right? light kick into uppercut, jab, light kick into uppercut, crouching jab, light kick into tatsu, whatever, right? You get the idea. And it's actually really good now because of the new patch. In the new patch, if you are canceling crouching light kick into standing light kick, you can do light kick tatsu, gonna get multiple hits into the uppercut, or you can use medium kick tatsu, get the multiple hits into the EX uppercut. And again, this is 4 frames, and this is actually really good because it means that you can use it to block punish your opponent. If your opponent does something like Guile so bad, this is -4, you can use your standing light kick to punish that. And it combos into his uppercut meterless, it combos into his tatsus, the light kick and the medium kick at least. It combos into EX fireball, then you can activate V-trigger and keep up with the combo. So the standing light kick is a fantastic move for Ken. It doesn't have the... It is not the longest standing light kick, but it is very good for combos and it's very good for combability, right? And you get a lot of damage out of it. Finally, the crouching light kick, and this one is terrific. I do think this is one of the best crouching light kicks in the game for so many reasons. The first thing is, if you can see, it is +1 on block, right? So a crouching light kick that is plus on block, that is actually really good. It does have some decent range. As you can see, you can do it into itself 3 times. So the range is kinda nice, and it is very combable on hit. On hit, you can do crouching light kick into standing light kick. Crouching light kick, standing light kick is a fantastic sequence because you can do crouching light kick, standing light kick into like tatsu, into heavy uppercut, or crouching light kick, standing light kick, medium kick tatsu into EXDB. Again, I will be leaving a combo section at the end of the video, so you don't have to worry about it now. Just know that you can get some amazing combos out of this. If you're in V-trigger, especially in the corner, you can actually get combos like this. And that is like a ton of damage from a crouching light kick, right? Look at the damage output from a crouching light kick. So the crouching light kick is actually very good for that. It's also a tech throw. You can use it and then throw your opponent after. So it is very good. Overall, all of Ken's light are honestly amazing. They're all good for compatibility. Almost all of them are good for throw situations. Either to tech throw immediately, or to shimmy, or even as an auto shimmy. And he even have nice 4 frames punish. Overall, fantastic light attacks. So let's now check out Ken's mediums, and I'm gonna start with his standing medium punch. And Ken's standing medium punch is actually a really nice normal. It is unique because it is his longest range cancelable normal. What do I mean by that? Well, from a range like this, for example, his standing heavy punch will whiff, crouching medium kick might whiff, right? Crouching medium punch will whiff, standing light kick will whiff, but the standing medium will connect, right? So it has the most range out of his normals that can cancel into specials. So if you wanna play the shipping out game, like normal into Hadouken, normal into Hadouken, normal into Hadouken, and slightly shipping out at your opponent's life little by little, this is the best normal for that, because again, it is his longest range cancelable normal. And this sequence in particular, you can even hit confirm that into V-trigger or super, right? Then you combo into V-trigger, or you can do the same thing and just combo into super and get big conversion. So if you wanna play it safe, ship out at your opponent little by little. The standing medium punch is very good at that. And because it is his longest range cancelable normal, it's also one of his best whiff punish tools. Let's say here Guile is gonna whiff a Sobat, right? It is pretty good at whiff punishing stuff like that, right? Combos reliably into the heavy fireball as well, so you can get good conversions. Another thing is that's kinda good about the standing medium punch is that it is one of his best shimmy options as well. So let's say for example that you knocked Guile down, right? Like let's say we knocked Guile down and we're gonna try to shimmy him, right? I'm gonna try to walk back to bait his shimmy, right? Typically you can walk back and then do standing heavy punch. The issue with this is if Guile jumps, the standing heavy punch, you can't really do much after it, right? Like here, Guile will land safely, but if you wanna bait a throw with the standing medium punch, you can DP after it, right? So if I do this, I can still DP Guile even if he jumped over me. So this is really good for shimmies, good for neutral, good for wave punishing. It's a pretty nice normal overall, and if you notice, it is still +2 on block, so even on pressure, using it like that is not bad at all in my opinion. I think it is quite the underrated normal. Now the other one is his crouching medium punch, and crouching medium punch is a good footsies normal. It stuffs a lot of things, so it is good to shake forward movement. So for example, let's say that Guile is gonna dash forward, something like that. You will find that the crouching medium punch is actually good as a buffer to stop that kind of movement, right? It is good to use in that sense, and because it is +2 on block, it is actually a good move to use in pressure, so you will see Ken players doing that a lot. It is +2 on block, it is 6 frame startup, so it will frame trap into the say here it will frame trap into the back medium punch. So if your opponent try to interrupt, you can frame trap into the target combo. On 4 frame characters like Guile, it will frame trap into itself actually, and you will be +7. So that is really nice. You can even like get a raw uppercut here, right? It's kind of an annoying combo, but you can get some stuff at this instant. But I wouldn't recommend actually going for it into itself. I would recommend using it and then going for the back medium punch, right? This is the tighter frame traps that will work against most of the cast. Crouching medium punch into itself will only work against characters who only have 4 frames, right? So it's not that terrific, and even as you can see, the reward on counter hit is not very high. So it is a good move for pressure. You can also use it in combos. It is gonna be your primary combo tool, because crouching medium punch natural combos into the target combo, right? So you're gonna be doing this all the time. Jumping, crouching medium punch, back heavy punch, back medium punch, back heavy punch into Tatsu. This is your main combo bread and butter, regardless if you're doing it from jumps. If you're doing it from the ground, it is his main and key combo attack. So it's an attack that you're gonna be using a lot. Now the other one is his standing medium kick. And standing medium kick also have a target combo attached to it, which is standing medium kick into heavy kick. And this is good because it is special cancelable. So you can get some nice juggle out of it, right? You can combo like into heavy uppercut. You can combo into Tatsus, into EX Tatsus. You can combo into whatever you want. The main use of the standing medium kick is gonna be in whiff punishes. So for example, again, if Guile decided to whiff something, like let's have this sequence again. As you can see, it does have some decent range for that. So you can use it to whiff punish your opponent and get some decent confirmable whiff punish, which is actually quite nice. You can also even use it to anti-air your opponent. It is a situational anti-air, so you can use it for that. Although I do think you should practice Shoryuken anyways, but know that it can work as a situational anti-air. In the corner, if you happen to land the target combo, you can combo into the V-skill run and then a heavy uppercut, so that is really nice. One thing that you kinda have to consider here is that the second hit of the target combo whiffs on crouching opponents, but the first hit forces a stand. So if your opponent, for example, is crouching and you got this on hit, it will force them to stand up. But if they are blocking, the second hit will whiff over their head. Here Guile is jabbing us. Even if he's not jabbing, this will whiff right over your head and you're gonna be punishable. So you have to be careful out of that. And as you can see, it is -2, so it is not a fantastic pressure tool. I will say keep it for whiff punishing and hit confirming this whiff punish. Some Ken players like to do YOLO stuff like that, like doing it into an uppercut. I don't recommend using that silly stuff, to be honest. This is not a risk that is worth taking. Also, as you can see from a distance, it is a high. So if you are using it and you're not point blank, it will go over your opponent's head. which is why I'm telling you that it is better to use as a whiff punish other than a pressure tool. The final regular medium he have is the crouching medium kick. And Ken's crouching medium kick is actually a really unique crouching medium kick. This is really good because it is really, first of all, it's a low, right? It doesn't have the best frame advantage. So crouching medium kick Hadouken for Ken isn't a fantastic string, but the strength of his crouching medium kick comes from how confirmable it is. So for example, if Guile is random guarding, you can kinda hit confirm this into Tatsus, but it does take some practice, but it is one of the easier ones to hit confirm in the game, right? The cancel window is kinda big on it, but you will have to practice this. But with some practice you will be able to get it. It is important if you wanna take Ken to the next level to actually practice hit confirming the crouching medium kick, right? So that is really good. Again, crouching medium kick will combo from any range into his EX Fireball. So if you do crouching medium kick EX Fireball, that will combo from any range, which makes it really good for V-trigger activation, right? Going for strings like that's actually really good. Also, finally, one thing that I have to also comment about the crouching medium kick is that you can hit confirm it into super, right? And again, the cancel window is actually quite big for that one. Overall, his mediums are actually kinda nice, but they are hit confirm heavy. Ken in general is a character that is heavy on hit confirms and being able to confirm the hit. If you want to do the safest hit confirm out of the crouching medium kick, I would say go for the EX Tatsu. It is the most reliable one, and as you can see, the corner carry is really big. The crouching medium kick also combos on counter hit after the crouching medium punch, so this is a 2-hit combo, so you can get stuff like that and keep up with your pressure. So overall his normal, like I said, they are really good but hit confirm heavy. He also have a bunch of command normals. The back medium kick, this is an overhead, so it is pretty good, and that of course it is unsafe. It is -7 on block, but the range is actually kinda okay. It does have some decent range on it, and one of the best thing about it is that on counter hit, if you are point blank or if you're close to your opponent, on counter hit it is +3, which means that you can combo a light Tatsu or a light DB, right? So this is a combo. You can get something like that even mid-screen, so that is fairly nice. Other than that, it is a round ending overhead, but as you can see, the range is actually kinda nice and the animation is a little bit tricky and annoying. Ken also have the back medium punch and the back medium punch heavy punch target combo. This is the bread and butter of Ken. This target combo is very important for Ken, and it is one of his most important tools for so many reasons. It's gonna be used a lot for frame traps because the back medium punch is 5 frame startup, so it is good to use in frame traps. It is hit confirmable, so you can actually complete the string only on block, or on hit I mean, and even if you do it on block, you can actually just cancel into the EX Fireball to make it safe, and on hit, you can cancel into whatever, right? So on block you can cancel into the EX Fireball, on hit go for the uppercut for example, right? So you can make it safe like that, but again it is hit confirmable, so you can hit confirm the medium kick row and then get the special cancel if you want, right? It is a little bit tricky to do, but it is possible, right? So that is really nice. One thing that many players like to do is to check out the stun bar. I personally don't do it that way, but some players like to check out the stun bar and use the stun bar to hit confirm, which you can do to make your life a little bit easier, right? So let's now check out Ken's heavy attacks, and I'm gonna start with the standing heavy punch. This normal is actually quite important for Ken for many reasons. First of all, again, it is one of his main shimmy tools. Shimmy is when you throw bait your opponent, and the standing heavy punch is kind of the high risk, high reward version of it, right? Let's say for example that Guile is gonna try to block an attack and then try to break a throw, right? As you can see, the standing heavy punch actually kinda combos well after it, and it can be really good to use in situations like this. So it is good to use to kinda shimmy your opponent. This is one of its main uses. And one of the strengths of it is that you can do standing heavy punch and then V-skill 1. And notice that Ken is +3, and because Ken is +3 in this situation, he can combo a light kick Tatsu or a light punch DP, right? Notice that just heavy punch, run into V-skill, and then light Tatsu. That is a combo. You will get the full hits of the Tatsu and be able to juggle an uppercut. And because he can combo after the run like that, it gives his combos a lot of corner carry, right? So look at how far he was able to take his opponent to the corner. So for that, it is actually really good. And standing heavy punch is also one of his best crush counter attacks. So for example, if you happen to crush counter your opponent, as you can see, they spin around, right? And then you can actually use the run, and notice that Ken will be +5 in this instant. And because he's +5, you can get a full combo into bread and butter, so that is really good. And you can even combo something, you can combo the V skill after that. So let's say that we don't have any V gauge, but let's say Ken is gonna start with no V gauge whatsoever. We are mid screen, we're gonna combo into the run, and then combo the run into the V skill itself. Right, as you can see, that was a good amount of V gauge. That was almost like a 3/4 of a bar, which is actually really good, right? If you're a little bit closer to your opponent and you manage to land the V-skill near the corner, you can even juggle an uppercut after that. So it is really good as a crush counter for building V-gauge. It's also decent to use in the neutral as a crush counter. You can fish for it. So let's say that Guile is gonna, for example, jump and then do his heavy kick, something like this. You can actually just fish with your standing heavy punch in these situations, right? So something like that, you can get that to work. So if you're expecting your opponent to challenge with something, you can break it with a standing heavy punch and get a ton of corner carry and a ton of damage. So it is a really good move in general. I would highly recommend actually using it. Again, you just have to keep in mind that in shimmies, if they happen to jump, you can't anti-air them if you use the standing heavy punch. Standing medium punch is a little bit of a less risk reward thing, right? It is less rewarding, but also less risky. Let's get our gauge back up again. Right. So the standing heavy punch, as you said, is decent. The crouching heavy punch is actually really good as well. This is one of Ken's best anti-air tools. So if Guile is jumping at us, even if he's directly above your head, as you can see, the crouching heavy punch is actually reliable. You can actually even cancel it into V-skill here and go for right-left mix-ups. Right here I was on the left. Maybe a little bit closer, you will be on the right. And you can switch side to trick your opponent. Maybe then you will throw them after it, but here's you jumping. As you can see, the crouching medium punch will be meaty. In a situation like that, you can get something like this. So it is pretty good for that. Also, it is actually really good for combos now. Let's say that you are mid-screen, you landed a jump in. You can do crouching heavy punch into the light Tatsu, into heavy uppercut, and that is 309 damage. Notice the damage output. That was 309, which is really high. If you did the regular bread and butter combo, that is doing 303. So the combo with the crouching heavy punch is doing a little bit more, right? So this is doing a little bit more, and you're getting really good corner carry as well. So the crouching heavy punch can be used as an anti-air. It can be used as a combo tool, especially in the corner. It is actually really good because especially if you're on V-trigger as well, you get to do stuff like that. which can deal a ton of damage output, as you can see. So this is mainly a combo tool and an anti-air, and it's a really good one at that. You can also use it as a crush counter, although the combo after it is kind of finicky. So as you can see, it will crush counter and it will launch your opponent high into the air. You can kinda reset them here for some 50-50 mix-ups. Right, so you can do that. You can combo into light punch fireball and then EX. So that can lead to a ton of corner carry. Right, so that is pretty nice. But I would actually highly recommend just going for the uppercut here, or the EX uppercut. Right, a heavy uppercut or an EX uppercut. And it is unlikely that you're gonna get this to crush counter. It crush counter only at specific frames. So it's highly unlikely that you will get this. And if you want to do like a crush counter punish to a Shoryuken, for example, I will simply use the standing heavy punch, because you do get good conversions and good meter building with that. Now finally we are gonna talk about the kicks, and he does have a couple of heavy kicks. The first one is his standing heavy kick. And this is actually decent. This is the typical standing heavy kick crush counter. The range isn't fantastic, but it is still okay. The speed is on the slower side, it could be a little bit faster, and there is some considerable whiff recovery to it, but it is still a fairly nice attack, and it's probably his longest range normal, right? It has the most range out of his normals. It is of course -4 on block, but you can kinda space it to be safe, although it is difficult, right? So you can kind of space it to be safe-ish. The good thing about the standing heavy kick is that on crush counter, the reward is actually really big. You can crush counter, dash up, heavy DB, as you can see, a ton of corner carry. If you're a little bit closer, standing heavy kick and then run, and then combo medium kick tatsu into EX uppercut. Notice the corner carry on that. It's a fantastic corner carry, to be honest. If you're in the corner and you happen to activate V-Trigger, you can get crazy damage out of that one, right? That's like 350 triple Shoryu combo, which looks fantastic. And it's also one of his best V-Trigger activation, even without crush counter. So standing heavy kick to V-Trigger activate is actually really good. You are gonna activate V-Trigger, gonna be +10, which means that you can combo a heavy bunch. So you can get something like this going, right, for a ton of corner carry. Even if you activate on block, standing heavy kick activate, you're gonna be +3 in their face, which means that you get to do whatever you want. So on block, it's a very good activation. On hit, it's a very good activation. It's a good crush counter. Although the conversions in case of the crush counter will highly differ depending on the distance. So for example, if you're doing it from afar like that, medium kick tatsu might whiff, but heavy punch uppercut will be consistent, and EX uppercut is the most consistent option, right? So overall it's a good crush counter, but the normal can be better. It could be better a little bit. Finally, he have his sweep, and his sweep is interesting. It is nothing too special in my opinion, like the move itself is nothing too special, but because he can cancel it into the run, it gives him actually really good pressure on knockdown. As you can see, if your opponent is down, Ken can very easily, regardless of the distance, be in his opponent's face for a lot of plus frames. Even if they do a back rise, right, he can always get some pressure after it. So that is really good. Makes it really good for whiff punishes as well. So let's say that Guile did the thing here again. Right, he's gonna do that. Let's move a little bit closer. Right, and then you can get a whiff punish on him. So the crushing heavy kick is a good whiff punish tool, a decent one, and because of the V skill, he gets to have really good pressure after it. The final heavy that Ken have, and this one is kind of a two-parter, is the forward heavy kick. If you hold the forward heavy kick, Ken does an overhead, and if you just tap it, Ken will do a feint. And both of these are actually really good. The feint is good because they will try to block standing, then you can combo a low like that, so they will be crouch blocking, see that, stand up, and then get hit low. If they are crouching, the overhead hits them. It is +3 on hit, as you can see, so you can actually go straight into light kick tatsu and then follow up the combo. Even can, if you're on V trigger for example, you can get something like that from an overhead. It's an overhead that you can combo after, which is not very common in Street Fighter V, but of course it is unsafe on block, right? These are really cool to have from an overhead, but as you can see, if you do that, it is -6 on block, so you can get punished. You have to be careful of that. And again, you can use this as a meaty in the corner, but you can't cover pose rises. So for example here, Guile is we're gonna have Guile wake up with a jab. Right? Guile is gonna wake up from the ground with a crouching jab, and we're gonna try to meaty him with a forward heavy kick, right? The hold heavy kick, the hold version. Notice that on quick rise, right, this will meaty and you will get your combo, but if he does back recovery, it is gonna whiff, right? So you can't auto time pose him, you have to choose. If you expect that you're gonna do a back rise, you have to delay your forward heavy kick by a couple of frames to catch them. I personally don't actually recommend using that setup that much, because the back recovery can be hard to whiff, to catch. And if you go for the back recovery, you can get counter hit on the quick recovery. And if you go for the quick recovery and they back recover, they can whiff punish you. So it is a considerable risk. And even if they block it standing, you are gonna get punished. So there's a lot of risk to actually using the overhead in the corner. But as you can see, there is also considerable reward. And it is a true meaty on quick rise. So it is a risky option. Double risky, unsafe on block, can get interrupted depending on how they woke up, but it is an option that you kinda have to use as well. Your opponent have to worry about Ken's overhead game. Again, also, if they are expecting it, you can feint and go for the low, but like you can see, if you try to feint, Ken is -8 in this situation, so you can't ever actually feint and get it through meaty, right? If you feint, they can always wake up with normals and punish you for it. So let's now check out Ken's notable air normals and his V skills. The first air normal that you gotta use with Ken is his jumping heavy punch. This jumping is very good. This is actually one of the best jumping normal in the game. As you can see, it have a very steep downwards angle, making it really good to use in wake up situations. So for example, using it for stuff like that is actually really good. Even as a jumping, it is likely to beat many of the anti-airs in the game, simply because of the angle of the punch, right? Ken is punching at a very downwards angle, so it is very strong at that. The second notable jumping normal is his jumping medium kick. Again, this is a fantastic cross-up. Most of the Shotos have jumping medium kicks as a cross-up. Ken is no exception. As you can see, it is very good. And one kind of funny note, if you kinda are in the know, this is pretty much the same animation as Batman's Jump 2 in the Injustice game. If you ever played Injustice, this is pretty much Batman's Jump 2, which was a ridiculous jumping cross-up, and Ken's jumping medium kick is also a ridiculous cross-up. Look at how good that hitbox is. Honestly, it's fantastic. Finally, the jumping heavy kick. This one is also really good, but it have more of a horizontal range than the jumping heavy punch. So if you're jumping from a distance, the heavy punch might whiff, but as you can see, the jumping heavy kick have more of a horizontal range, so it is more likely to connect. Overall, Ken have some fantastic, honestly some stupid good jumping normals. His jumping normals overall are very good for jumping in on the opponents. Now, let's talk about his V system, and I'm gonna start first with the V skill 1. V skill 1 for Ken is a very important V skill to him, and it's very vital to his game plan. When you tap the V skill button, Ken will just run at his opponent and he will run a set distance, right? It is decent to use in the neutral just to surprise your opponent, so you're walking back and forth, suddenly run and maybe grab them, right? So it is good at that. It's also very good to use in Oki. Oki mean Okozemi or wake up pressure. For example, you do a heavy punch uppercut, right? Then your opponent might back rise, right? So something like this, Sakura will back rise. So in this instant, if you use the V skill, you will run up and you will be in her face, have plus frames, so maybe then you can throw her or apply some pressure game, maybe apply Meaty, or go for whatever mix-up you want. So it is useful to use in the neutral, it is useful to use for Oki. The same can be said about any other knockdown, for example, like let's say you combo into medium Tatsu, again V skill, and then you are in their face, ready to apply pressure. And most importantly, it's also very good after an EX uppercut. Again, after the EX uppercut, use the V skill to cover the distance and you get to instantly apply some pressure. So this is one of its biggest functionality. It's also very useful in combos because if you hold down the V skill button, Ken will run into kick, right? So you can do your back medium punch, heavy punch target combo, and then combo into the kick. In the corner, you can follow up, with some juggles after that. So you can do something like this, and then combo a heavy punch uppercut for some really good damage, or after the medium kick, heavy kick target combo, again follow up for some really good damage. So it is useful even as the kick variant. If you're in V trigger 1, you can just run and then combo a light punch or an EX uppercut, right? So you can get something like this. The timing is kinda strict though, so it is useful in combos, even in mid screen with V trigger. When V trigger 1 is on, you can use it in crush counters, and it's actually really good in crush counter combos. Let's say you got a heavy punch crush counter, right? Typically you're gonna be at a +7, which is a decent advantage. You can combo like a heavy kick Tatsu here, or like if you're maximum range, you can get the heavy Tatsu to hit like that, and that is nice. But because of the run, you can run up and be +5, and this means that you get to combo this, building a lot of V gauge, or maybe just go for the heavy kick Tatsu ender for a decent mix of damage and V gauge building, right? Also, I'm sorry, after the standing heavy kick, without the V skill 1, it is actually hard to get good conversions. Something like EX Tatsu is the best you're gonna get, right? It is hard to follow up at that point, but the run allow you to get better juggles here. If you're in the corner, you can even get a full on conversions. So it's very useful on this regard. But not only that, it's also really useful to use in pressure as well. The run can be cancelled into from any of Ken's normal. So you can do any normal and then cancel into the run. And this is almost always negative. You are always gonna be negative in this situation. But you can surprise your opponent. If your opponent is not ready for the run, you can maybe go for a normal and frame trap them, or just throw them after it. You can use, for example, setups like that, kind of surprise him once and then go for the throw. So the V skill 1 can be used for pressure as well. So it is useful for pressure, it is useful for combos, it is useful for Oki, it is useful for the neutral. It is a fantastic V skill that does so much for Ken. I honestly think this V skill is fantastic, and it is a big part of Ken's identity in general, in my opinion. The fake pressure with the run, in terms of pressure, is something that your opponent have to respect and have to be really on edge and really focused to be able to deal with. So that is all very, very good. Overall, it's a fantastic V skill. I would recommend using it actually because I feel like it makes Ken complete, right? The V skill 2 on the other hand is quite interesting. It does offer a different playstyle. The issue with the V skill 2 is that you lose many of your combo routes, especially after the crush counters, but you also gain additional combo routes. Like for example, if we are mid-screen, right? Let's say we are mid-screen, and I just want to show you the V gauge building, right? If we are using V skill 1, you can do this and then combo anything after it, right? Like you can combo into V skill and then like combo an uppercut. But V skill 2 does offer you that utility. With V skill 2, you can just build a little bit of V gauge and still maintain your combo. The same with the medium kick, heavy kick target combo, and still maintain your combo. So it is useful for building V gauge mid screen, and then you can even like do an EX Tatsu here for a lot of corner carry as well. So you can get something like that, which is very interesting and honestly very cool. The V skill itself, you can think of it as a Mika charged dropkick, but one that also have a lot of vertical range. So you know how most people can jump Mika charged heavy kick? They can't really jump out of Ken's V skill. As you can see, if they try to jump here, they get hit by it and they get juggled for a combo. So they can jump it. And if you happen to fully charge it and got it to land, you are +4, which means that you can combo into light kick, into medium kick Tatsu, like into EXDB, which is a lot of damage, or light kick into light kick Tatsu, into heavy punch uppercut, right? You can just get this to combo. So there are some really interesting combo routes with the V skill 2. My problems with the V skill 2 is that it weakens Ken's Oki, and it kinda weakens his conversions in terms of crush counter, especially out of the heavy kick. Out of the heavy kick, you are pretty much forced to use the EX Tatsu, especially on specific situations. Like you can either get the knockdown here, or if you're close enough, you can do the EX Tatsu. You can't really dash up and do much in this situation, right? You can't really get that much here. And out of the standing heavy punch, you are pretty much forced to go for the heavy kick Tatsu route, which is fine if you're from a distance, because you can get conversions like these, but up close you are getting less damage overall and less V gauge building. Or you can do like heavy punch into the Tatsu, into the V skill, into maybe a throw or whatever. Good part about this V skill is that it is -2 on block, right? So it is safe on block and it doesn't leave you on throw range, so that is good. Of course, because it's -2, maybe you will uppercut after it, or maybe they will respect it and then you get to continue your pressure. If you hold it and fully charge it, it is +3 on block, and it is good that it leaves him at +3 on block, but it's not in throw range, as you can see. You have to walk forward and throw your opponent. So let us now talk about Ken's special moves, and I'm gonna start with his iconic Shoryuken. Of course, Ken has 3 different Shoryukens and an EX version. This is the light, this is the medium, and this is the heavy. The heavy, of course, is the fire uppercut. It is one of his most classic attacks, and he also have an EX version, which is the Shoryu Rippa. It is one of his classic super moves in the previous games, but in this game it is his EX uppercut. And Ken Shoryukens are different, and each of them have specific properties that are really important to know. The light one is 3 frame, so it is the fastest, right? Because it's 3 frame, you can actually combo after it, or you can combo it in unique situations. Like for example, after the forward heavy kick overhead, you can straight out combo into the light punch uppercut, and that is very good. Or like after a standing heavy kick, you're gonna be +3, so you can straight combo into the light uppercut. So that is really nice. But the main use of the light punch TP is the fact that it is throw invincible. This means that it will beat any throws from the first frame. So if Dan is doing something like jab into throw, right? You can actually light punch Shoryuken out of the string, and you will get out, you will break his throw regardless of what he does. Ken cannot be thrown out of the light punch Shoryuken. Next up is the medium punch Shoryuken. And medium punch Shoryuken is his anti-air, right? So if Dan is jumping on us, let's say Dan is jumping, medium Shoryuken is the most reliable anti-air. This is invincible to jumping attacks from the first frame, It's also really good to use as a crosscut. It is the dedicated anti-air Shoryuken. And you can even V-trigger cancel, of course, and get some good conversions with it, right? It is the main anti-air DP. Finally, he has the Heavy Punch Shoryuken. And this is unique because it is the best to use in combos. So for example, if you are doing a combo like that, sure, you can combo into the light, you can combo into the medium, and you can combo into the heavy, but the heavy does the most damage, right? So the heavy, if you notice, light does 110, medium does 130, so substantially more damage, and heavy uppercut does 140. And because it does the most amount of damage, you can actually use it the best in combos, and you still get to pressure your opponent after, so it is very good for that. Also, it does have unique juggle properties, and it moves the furthest. So let's say you did light Kektatsu, light punch will not reach, medium DP will reach, but the damage output is not fantastic, but the heavy punch Shoryuken will give you the most damage output. So in combos, especially extended juggles, heavy punch uppercut is the best one. And you can use it in block streaks because after the third frame, it is totally invisible. So for example, if Dan is doing, say, crouching medium kick into Hadouken, right? You can just straight out heavy punch Shoryuken out of that stuff, right? And if your opponent block string is not tight, you can just heavy punch uppercut out of it, right? It's very good to use in, when you want to challenge a block string. Also, one thing that's actually really cool about the heavy punch Shoryuken is that it has some really good juggles. Say if you anti-air your opponent early with it like that, like for example, we know that the medium is the best anti-air version, right? But because the heavy is invincible after the third frame, you can use it to anti-air as well, but you have to use it kinda early. But if you use it super early, you can actually do two of them like that, right? This is kinda tricky. You're unlikely to get it to hit just right in a match, but it is possible, of course, and it can lead to really big damage, right? Let's see if I can get it to super. Right? Maybe you can juggle a super with the second uppercut. It is very good. Now the final version is of course his Choryurepa or his EX Shoryuken. This is totally invincible, so if you got knocked down or whatever, this is your wake up reversal. It's an attack that have total invincibility, so it is best to use defensively. And it is a really good reversal because like I said in the overview, Ken is actually one of the few characters who can pressure his opponent after an EX reversal. So this is actually really powerful. Ken have one of the scariest wake up Shoryukens because he can pressure his opponent after it. This is a very big benefit, one that should not be overlooked at all. And it's also really useful in combos, especially after the medium Kektatsu. Right? This is like your your highest damage jumping combo. It's gonna be jumping into crouching heavy punch, medium Kektatsu, into EX uppercut, and as you can see, the juggles are really powerful. Ken of course have wicked Shoryuken. They are really good. Each of them are useful in their own ways, and I would highly recommend trying to learn each of them and when to use them. The other attack of course he have is the classic Hadoukens. Ken Hadoukens are not that fantastic. He have of course light. This is the light Hadouken. It travels the slowest. The heavy Hadouken travels the fastest. But as you can see, it is still kinda slow. But you can use them for zoning, right? You can still zone with these fireballs. They are usable. The same rules apply. I will be leaving a link. It is a guide to zoning and how you can use them in zoning traps, how to create fireball traps and all of that. So his fireballs are actually useful for zoning, although they are not terrific, right? Like the fireball and their speed are not fantastic. They are likely to get jumped on. On block they are -6, so they can get punished by many characters on block. So they are okay fireballs. I guess they are okay fireballs, But he's not Ryu, he's not Akuma, Sagat or Guile, Nash. His fireball is kinda on the worst side. But now after the patch they are okay. Like they are okay. You can zone with them, play the typical throw fireball. If they jump, you uppercut game, right? It's very obvious. And again, I will be leaving a link in the comments below to the zoning guide and how you can use the fireballs to create some zoning traps and fireball traps. One of the biggest use of his fireballs are V-trigger activations. Fireballs are really hit confirmable for V-trigger activation. So you do something like crouching medium kick into heavy fireball, and then you can activate V-trigger out of that. You see that in 2 hits, activate V-trigger, and then you get to follow up. So this is one of the key tools, obviously also super confirming as well, seeing that they landed, and then you go into the super. The EX fireball is plus on block, but it is only plus 1. This kinda sucks, because let's say you do one of the main uses that you would wanna use the EX fireball is to make the target combo safe. This is typically, as you can see, minus 13 on block, so if you fail to hit confirm, you can EX fireball, but as you can see, you're gonna be plus 1 only. This means that if your opponent have a 3 frame, they can challenge, and the best that you can get is a trade, so that kinda sucks. So even on block, the EX fireball is not fantastic. Mid screen, there is so much pushback, you can't really pressure them afterwards that much. But like I said previously, the EX fireball is actually really good for V-trigger activation as well, right? So he kinda is on the weaker side when it comes to fireballs and fireball zoning, as well as using them on pressure. But using them for V-trigger activation is actually really good. And finally, his third special is the Tatsus. There's the light, the medium, and the heavy version. As you can see, each of them move different distance and have different arcs. Ken's Tatsus are combo tools, and mostly they're gonna be used as combo tools. Although the light Tatsu is 3 frame, so you can use it as a wake up or a defensive tool. Like let's say for example your opponent is doing, again Dan is doing the jab into throw. Because this is your 3 frame, you can kinda challenge with it, right? Then you can activate V-trigger here and do whatever you want. So you can use it defensively to challenge. If he knocks you down on the ground like that, you can wake up with it and kinda annoys him, but you have to know that light kick Tatsu on block is unsafe. If they blocked it, you are minus 8, so if you don't have V-trigger to make it plus, it is unsafe. And on V-trigger activation, it is only plus 2, but the light kick Tatsu have its use as a defensive tool. Light kick Tatsu is your main 3 frame attack. It is what you're gonna be using for interruption, along with the EX uppercut and the heavy uppercut. And of course light DP if you think that they are gonna throw, right? So all of that is really good. Otherwise, the Tatsus are mostly combo attacks. Light kick Tatsu can hit twice, and if it hit twice like that, you can juggle a heavy punch uppercut after it. If you happen to land it from a little bit of a distance, where it hit only once, so let's say from here, it hit only once like that, you can get the heavy uppercut at this instant. But if it hits twice, you can't hit an uppercut. And kinda the same for the medium kick Tatsu. The medium kick Tatsu, it hits 3 times. If you got it to hit the 3 times, you can't combo into heavy punch uppercut, but you can combo into EX uppercut. Only EX uppercut will juggle after it, and this, like I said earlier, is part of his main most maximum damage combos, like normal crouching heavy punch, medium kick Tatsu into EX uppercut. That is very good. So both of these are combo tools. If you're from a distance, or like you, for example, you're trying to hit confirm a target combo like that, medium kick Tatsu is a safe option to go, and like you can see, you still get OK after it. So it is pretty good for combos. Heavy kick Tatsu have 2 main uses. You can use it in the neutral, but it is -4, so you will get punished. So if you try to use it like that in the neutral, it is -4, it is punishable on block, so you have to be careful. But if you use it in the neutral and you happen to land the hit, and you got a grounded hit like that, notice that Ken was +3. So because he was +3, you can combo light kick Tatsu after that, and you will get the 2 hits out of the light, so then you can combo the heavy uppercut, right? So that is really nice. And otherwise, it's a main combo tool, right? It's what you're gonna be comboing into for the maximum damage and Oki. It is his most damaging special. As you can see, it does 140 to 100 stun. The uppercut does 140, 150 stun. So the Tatsu does a lot more stun, and you get to be in a fantastic pressure situation afterwards. You can dash and still pressure your opponent. It combos naturally from both of his target combos. Your main bread and butter is gonna be crouching medium punch into the back medium punch heavy punch target combo into Tatsu. This is your main or your key combo attack. So overall, most of his Tatsus are gonna be combo attacks, right? The EX Tatsu is also a combo attack, and it's really good for pushing your opponent to the corner. So let's say we are mid-screen, we wanna get Dan to the corner as quickly as possible, so you can combo into it. And as you can see, the corner carry is gigantic, right? Especially with the V-skill run, you can actually instantly almost send your opponent to the corner, which is really good. One final thing that I have to mention regarding the light kick Tatsu is that because it is 3 frame, you can combo into it after heavy punch into run. So if you do heavy punch into the V-skill run, Ken is gonna be +3, and this will allow you to combo light kick Tatsu. This link is kinda tricky, so you can kinda miss it, but with some practice you will be able to get it. As you can see, it is a good combo, does a lot of corner carry, so it is worth using, right? It is worth going for. The final Tatsus Ken have is the air Tatsus, and Ken's air Tatsus can actually cross up. As you can see, they kinda change your typical jump arc. So regularly, like from this distance, jumping heavy punch will hit on the front, but you can use Tatsu to cross up your opponent, but you can't combo after it without V-trigger. It's very hard to get it to B +4 where you can get a combo. It is possible, but it's very difficult to space. The V-trigger 1 Tatsus are a lot better, but you can get the Tatsu to cross up, right? Like that is the important part, is that you can get them to cross up. The EX Air Tatsu is quite unique because it's kind of like a dive kick, and this has some weird properties. It can never be plus on block. So on block, it's gonna be -2 or neutral. The best you can get it to be is 0 on block. This is the best that you can get it, but like we said, Ken does not have a 3 frame normal, so even getting it to be 0 on block is really being negative. But you know, it is safe at least. Like regardless of the height, it is safe. So there is that, right? And if you happen to got it to hit, it puts them in a juggle state. So then you can combo a target combo like that, right? And then combo into heavy kick Tatsu. Maybe you can actually reset your opponent here, right? Like many players love to reset in this instance. So you will do something like this, reset your opponent, go for a light lift. Again, very viable option, can be really tricky for your opponent to deal with. You can straight out combo, dash up into heavy punch uppercut if you want. My favorite is just going for the target combo to the heavy kick Tatsu. This gives you the maximum damage and Oki. So let us now talk a little bit about Ken's V-triggers, and I'm gonna start first with his V-trigger 1. And Ken's V-trigger 1, as you can see, is a 3 bars V-trigger, so it is a costly V-trigger, but like we established earlier, he does have some good crush counters, and he's one of the characters who can kinda reliably combo into his V-skills, so he is good at building V-gauge. So a 3 bar V-trigger on Ken is not that bad in all honesty. Yes, it is costly, but he can build V gauge just fine. There are a couple of things that you have to know about this V trigger and its activation. When you activate V trigger 1, Ken will dash at his opponent, right? This makes this V trigger kinda unsafe to activate in the neutral, because if you just want to activate it right away like that, he will dash at his opponent and then he can punish you, right? So you don't want to activate it raw. You don't want to just activate it in the neutral. However, if you are from a distance layer full screen, then yeah, you can activate, I guess. But you can actually activate on hit and get really good combos with this. And on block, there are many ways that you can get it to be plus on block. So for example, you can do heavy kick and then activate V trigger and he will dash forward and be plus 10. Then he can get follow-ups. Crouching medium punch, run, and that will give him at a plus 6, right? So then you can use another one. Maybe you will do any normal into fireball. Activate V trigger and he's gonna be super plus in this instance, right? Maybe you will do a run V skill, right? If you commit to if you hold the V skill, you're gonna do the run and then you get to activate. And notice that all of these combo on hit and they're also plus on block. So for example, this one is gonna be plus 7, crouching medium punch, gonna be plus 3, standing heavy kick, plus 3. Anything into fireball is gonna be hella plus. So he does have a lot of ways to activate into his V trigger and combo on hit or be plus on block, and that is very good in Street Fighter V. Now another thing that you also have to note, and this is actually one of highlights of Ken, is that he can activate his V trigger from his Shoryukens. So you can do an EX Shoryuken and then activate your V trigger, right? So you can do something like that and then get to activate your V trigger. This is very powerful because this means that defensively you can get knocked down, wake up with an EX uppercut and then activate your V trigger. So let's say for example Akuma will knock us down like that, right? And you got to switch the situation on him. So this is actually very powerful for Ken, right? This is one of the things that are very powerful about this V trigger and that your opponent will have to respect. Not only does he get to activate on an EX reversal, he also get to side switch, which is really big and doing a lot of damage at that as well, right? So this V trigger is very good in my opinion. It is not cheap because it doesn't give Ken new tools per se, but it enhances his tools in tremendous ways. One of the first things that you will notice is a big increase in the damage output. For example, light kick Tatsu into heavy uppercut. This is doing 176 damage. If we activate V trigger and do the same combo, it is doing 234. He got almost 60 more damage on that combo. That is tremendous. That is honestly really big. If you say in the neutral, you can do light kick Tatsu and then try to combo an EX Tatsu, right? This doesn't work. Regularly, this just does not work. But when you have V trigger 1 on, as you can see, it actually combos, right? This actually gives Ken a ton of corner carry, because let's say you are in this side of the screen, you're gonna run into the V skill or standing heavy punch into the run, it's gonna be plus 3. So in V trigger, and that is almost carrying your opponent from corner to corner. That is really big. Notice that the damage on his uppercut and the juggle properties are also improved tremendously, and I can't express this enough. Like let's say mid in the corner, typically you will do the target combo, right? And then combo into the V skill. So you're gonna do that, combo into the V skill, and then you can maybe juggle a light punch uppercut, right? Notice here Ken landed and there's not much that you can do after it, but with V trigger he recovers super fast and looks like we can juggle a little bit more here. So you can do this light punch uppercut into heavy punch uppercut. And notice that he was getting like what? He was getting a 184 on that before. Now he's getting 322 damage meterless. That is very, very powerful. Let's say we are checking out the combo after the overhead. So after the overhead regularly, Ken will do an uppercut and that would be 179, or you will do like a Kitatsu into heavy uppercut. So you're getting like 240 damage, right? Let's say he's getting 240. When he's in V-trigger, that is 290. That's a lot more, right? Or you can do light punch uppercut into heavy punch uppercut, and that is 325. He got almost 100 extra damage on that. And if you want to see something totally ridiculous, check out how much a heavy kick crush counter can yield. Typically in the corner, if you are using your V skills, Ken will get something like that. Let's say light punch uppercut into EX uppercut, and that is 264. If he has V trigger on, that is 360 damage. It's so much more damage output. The EX fireball, typically that does only 153. Right, he can combo after it and get like 291 damage. That is good. That is good combo. But in V trigger, almost 390 damage. So the damage output increase dramatically. And check out like a basic combo in the corner, right? Like you can do something like this. That is almost 460 damage with one bar. The damage output is quite ridiculous. The damage buff that Ken gets in V-Trigger is actually quite ridiculous. But this V-Trigger doesn't just enhance his damage output and his combo damage. It also enhances his neutral, because the fireballs, they now knock down. The fireballs are much more likely to combo out of the crouching medium kick. So even crouching medium kick fireball is more likely to connect from further ranges. And the fireball knocking down is actually a really big deal, right? You can pressure your opponent after that, so that is very, very good. The EX fireball knocks down as well, and in the corner you can juggle afterwards. As you can see, it can set up to gigantic juggles and a ton of damage. Finally, you will see that his heavy kicktatsu, usually the heavy kicktatsu as we showed, that was -4 on block. So if I do the heavy kicktatsu regularly, -4 on block, so it can get punished. In V-trigger, it is -2 on block, right? So if your opponent here stand guard, the heavy kicktatsu is gonna be -2 on block, I mean, so it is completely safe in V-trigger. It is -4 regularly. In V-trigger, it is -2, so it is completely safe, right? And not only that, he actually get to combo it into heavy punch uppercut afterwards for massive damage. Like one YOLO heavy kicktatsu. Look at how much. That got almost 209. That's like 28% on the average character from one YOLO special moves. Again, the tatsus, the air tatsu, regularly the AX air tatsu, this sets them up in a juggle state. Right, so maybe then, like we said earlier, you go for the target combo, right, into the heavy kicktatsu, and that's fine. But in V-trigger, it actually leaves him grounded, which is actually really, really big, because it means that Ken can actually get combos here, right? So now he can actually get grounded combos after it, which is actually really, really good if I don't mess it up. Right, he can combo grounded combos after that now, so that is really, really good. The health box on the regular air tatsu is gigantic as well. Notice how much bigger this is, right? This is very, very good, and the frame advantage is really big. Before we struggled to get +4. But now this is getting, as you can see, this is getting a lot more. You can make it +6, +7, right? +5, so he gets to combo a lot easier. And this is actually really obnoxious as well. Let's say he's standing on the line, right? Typically his jump would be from the front, but in V-Trigger, from the same distance, he can jump, cross up with the Tatsu and get this kind of damage. So this is really good. Overall, this V-Trigger buffs a lot about Ken. It doesn't give him new tools per se, but it makes his damage output tremendously, more. It so exponentially increases his damage output, and it gives him more chances. He gets a lot more, and it is one of the better factors as to why Ken is good at snowballing his opponents, right? It is one of the best comeback factors for Ken. Now let's check out the V-Trigger 2, because Ken's V-Trigger 2 is the opposite. It is a 2 bars V-Trigger, so it is good for that, and this one does give Ken new tools. Let's say for example that Akuma is gonna do a fireball in the neutral, right? Typically Ken does not have any anti-fireball tools, right? But V-Skill 2 does give him, or V-Trigger 2, it actually does give him that, right? It gives him an option that he can use in the neutral to suck his opponent in and beat Fireball. Then you can combo after it. Again, we'll be leaving a combo section at the end of the video, so you don't have to worry about which combo routes you need to go for right now, but know that this is one of the main functionalities of that. And not only that, the activation is actually quite fast, so you can use it to wave punish. So let's see, repeat. Akuma is gonna, for example, with a crouching heavy punch, right? And we can use the Shin Ryuken to actually wave punish him, right? Then you get to activate. Let's say that Akuma is gonna jump into an air fireball. I think it was the first recording. Activate into jumping air fireball. You can even use the Shinryuken to go through that and punish Akuma. So this V-Trigger does give Ken some new openings in regards to the neutral. Also, it is very hit confirmable and you can get 2 combos out of it. So first of all, you can activate, for example, use the level 2 one, get a conversion, and then get to activate once more from anything. Like let's say we did this, right? Then got the EX Tatsu, then for example here, and get a second activation and follow up after. So it does give you 2 combo extension if you don't fully tap it. The harder you tap, the more Ken will go upward. So you can use it all in one use like that. Maybe get a juggle into super after for big burst damage. But I don't personally recommend this. I recommend just using it the level 2 one, because you will get to use it twice that way, right? This should use about half of the V gauge, and you get to use it again, right? So that is very good. Also, you can actually use this to anti-air as well, but I don't recommend using it raw. You wanna, for example, you wanna uppercut and then cancel into it, and then you can get big conversions out of it. The V-Trigger 2, you can think of it, it gives Ken additional options, and it also increases his combo damage, while V-Trigger 1 have better activation, or you can activate into plus frames. It gives him a lot more damage output, and it's an install V-Trigger, so the timer is quite long. So both of these V-Triggers are decent in my opinion. None of them are amazing, none of them are really top tier V-Trigger, but I will say against zoning characters, or against characters that Ken struggles to whiff punish, or he can't beat their fireball, I will say that Shinryuken is actually a pretty good V-Trigger to use. I think Ken is one of the characters who are fortunate enough to have 2 viable V-Triggers. And now finally, before I leave you to combos, I wanted to talk for a little bit about Ken's critical art because it is a really good critical art. This critical art is done by doing two fireballs forward and kicks. This is actually really good because if you play Ryu or most of the other Shotos, most of them have their super being two fireballs forward and punch, and this makes it so that a lot of time when they wanna do uppercut, they will get super by accident, or you can get a lot of supers by accident. But because Ken super is on kicks, it is a lot harder to get a super by accident with Ken. There is no overlapping inputs with him, so that's actually really good. This super is also very easy to combo into. You can do fireball into super and it will juggle. You can do light kicktatsu into super and it will juggle. You can do medium kicktatsu into super and this will juggle. You can cancel off of it, or off of an uppercut into it, medium, light, or heavy, and it will link either way. You can combo into the V skill hold, which is like the tap kick, and then combo super, and this will connect. It's a very easy super to combo into, and that is very good for the character. One of the best thing about it is that it's also really fast. This is 5 frames startup, and because it's really fast, it allows Ken to punish stuff with it, right? So for example, something like this is like Kicktatsu. As you can see, this is -8 and it leaves him at a little bit of range, right? Many characters may not be able to punish a -8 from this distance, but because Ken's super is really fast, you actually get to punish that, right? So it is very good for punishes as well. And one of the best thing about it is, on hit, if you manage to land the super, you can just use the V skill run and Ken will be at a plus frames and you just get to throw your opponent after or apply a throw or shimmy mix-up, right? It's a versatile super, you can use it for punishes and it's very easy to combo into, so that all is very good. And that is pretty much it for Ken. I hope that this guide was able to give you an idea about how you can use the character. Ken is really one of the most fun characters in the game, certainly one of the flashiest and one of the most aggressive and offensive characters in the game. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment, it helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon page and the Discord server page in the description below. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.